Amazing. I see we are live here. Guys, welcome to another Spellborne stream. And as always, I know we're just literally beginning today's stream, but thank you to everyone that's now just tuning in. Um, and as always, man, love these conversations that I just always have here weekly with Ghosty. And of course, for today's conversation, we'll be covering again everything around Spellborne, but also more, I guess, UGC X gaming type of discussion. So, really excited to also tackle that. Guys, don't forget for those that are tuning in, there is a stream link that gets posted. So, anything you guys can do to show love, whether that's a repost, like, comment, bookmark, all those good things, you already know what to do. But first, got to check in with the legend himself. Go see what is going on, brother. How are you doing?
GM. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm just working on the announcement, so give me 1 second.
Yeah, yeah. No worries, no worries. Yeah, we'll get people reeling in here. Um, man, and in the meantime, I think it's just been one of the more crazier timelines as of recently. Obviously this past weekend with Trump coin coming in, almost sucking the liquidity out of everything, and then you had our inauguration moment not too long ago. So there's a lot of things going around, at least here in the U.S. and of course with crypto related. Um, Man, a lot of things just going on. But go see anything you just been paying attention to outside of I guess Spellborn and just what's been going on in crypto.
Yeah, actually, what has been going in crypto is actually just makes me much more bullish on what we're building. Especially because when you talk about the Trump coin coming in, the moment it went live, I was like, now everyone will launch a token. Now
Mm,
everyone will want a token, and we'll see a lot of token releases coming here and there, and there will be a lot of I would say competition,
mm,
but also less scrutiny around creator tokens, less scrutiny
mm,
around tokens that have utility in games. So it just opens up, more clarity regarding what will happen, as you can already see that, now the stance of the US government will kind of
mm,
change towards, cryptocurrencies. And firstly it was mostly against, and now it's mostly for, like it's too for, like it's too positive. I saw some tweets like that were missing Gary Gensler, and they were like, Gary, we miss you, we didn't deserve you, and so on. uh, but yeah, overall it does make me more bullish on what we are building, and that is primarily due to the fact that since everyone will be launching tokens, they can do that within Spellborn as well. And
mm, mm.
those tokens are, it's basically how Pump Fund works,
Right.
but those tokens are then associated with communities from the get go.
Mm,
So
mm,
when I say from the get go, it's important to differentiate from how Pump Fund works, because when you launch a token on Pump Fund, you have to share it with others, you have to share it
mm.
around, you have to wait for snipers to look into your token and see if you're actually, if you actually have some weight. So
Right.
when we talk about tokens inside Spellborn, they already get associated with a guild, and guilds usually start with a minimum of 30-40 members. So you already have a group of 30-40 members already shilling the token, but you also have opportunities to generate revenue, which
Mm,
you do not directly do with pump fund tokens. You have opportunities to actually create value, so that
right.
it's
Right.
not just a token chart that goes just straight away down.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
all these tokens, when they go live, they create value for our own games token, which in turn brings more eyes on the game itself. So it's a
Hmm, hmm.
circular loop that will be created. And even if one token goes viral, it will bring value to all the other tokens, all the other guild tokens, and the main token of the game itself.
Right.
So yeah, i'm
Right.
i'm, I'm pretty bullish on what has been happening in the market till now. I would say regarding gaming tokens, especially, it is important to note that I saw some tweets that were talking about how the current utility around the gaming tokens, it's mostly a joke because if we are targeting retail buyers, they don't have the power to buy tokens.
Mm, mm,
And if we talk about speculators, if when we talk about launching a game, that's the worst thing you can do. Like once you launch the game, you're just done. There's no speculation left. So how will they price the token after that? So I
mm,
would say in our case, the way we have structured the token itself, it's not kind of those kind of ecosystem tokens where it's just used for gas fees and for the sake of it, but it is a ecosystem token where it has actual utility that is not only associated with the game economy but also outside. And as guilds grow, as those guild tokens grow, the utility for our game token also grows. So I'm very
mm.
very bullish on what's next for Spellborne. But yeah, super excited about this conversation. I kind of went too far from the tangent here, so apologies for
No,
that.
no need to apologies, Ghosty. This is your platform, and it's funny because I actually was gonna follow up with you with a question regarding the state of gaming coins because I feel, again, I think there's such a question that just comes back to you, and I feel like I'm the one that's always asking it. But like, you know, once you said that we're gonna see, more tokens come out, whether that's from creators or even just influential people like Trump and Elon, whatever it may be, right? How do you think this kind of just shapes the new crypto like market? I mean, in the perception of like, do you think people just will only look at crypto now with an association of tokens and it's less of like products? Or do you think stuff like gaming has a chance to still be a product first type of experience where it's fun games, a fun experience, and then the token comes after, right? Do you think this kind of impacts that in any way?
See, the token itself is specifically a different product when we
Mm,
compare to what gaming tokens are and what game itself is. So if we say that if your game is good, it will generate value to the token. That's not the case. Your game
mm,
needs to
mm,
be good
mm,
for the retail buyers to actually be interested.
mm-hmm,
But after that, you need to still generate speculation and still generate value around the token and make sure that it is something that traders want to trade, buyers want to buy, and players want to use. So at the end of the day, just making a fun game isn't the criteria anymore. Like,
mm-hmm,
you
mm-hmm.
want to make sure that you stand out, and you stand out in a way where you're providing enough opportunities for speculators to speculate on the token itself, because even though it is a utility token, people will speculate. You can't
Right,
stop that. You
right.
can't really stop it and stop this speculation part, stop this holding part, even if it is a game token. And that does not relate to your game economy, that does not relate to anything else. It just relates on the part of the speculators thinking or assuming on how much value the token will have in the
Mm,
future, because the token price is not decided based on what value it generates currently. It is decided upon what value it will generate in the future.
right,
So
right.
there is a huge difference in terms of how we are approaching our gaming token and how a lot of projects are. And I think a lot of them need to understand this basic principle that just creating a fun game won't be enough.
Yeah.
Just creating a speculative token won't be enough. You need to have both, and you need to have both in a good relationship. Like,
Mm,
the
mm.
token itself is speculative, but the price of it brings more players to your game. More players in your game bring more value to your token. It should go
Right.
hand in hand. And at the end of the day, both are different products, so you need to handle them differently.
I like that. I like that response. And Ghosty, do you think right now we specifically in Spellborn, right? Are you starting to pay attention to the quality of the player that you're bringing into the game? Like kind of like the persona that you're trying to attract. Has this kind of just been more of a relevant thing as of lately, or has it always been since the get-go?
It has always been from the get go. And
Mm,
the players that we are targeting, there is a quite a wide variety of players that we are targeting for the game itself.
Hmm.
And we can already see those personalities in specific individual players. Like if you look at the playthroughs of different players, you can understand, which player will become a buyer, will which player will become a trader, which player will
Right,
just become a
right.
grinder, who is not ready to invest in the game in terms of monetary value, but they want to invest time in the game itself. And
Hmm.
all these different kinds of players have different roles, important roles to play in the game economy. Like, when we talk about a lot of other gaming projects, I've seen gaming projects dissociate themselves from grinders and farmers, and they kind of just throw away that group from their game economy, from their
Right,
games, thinking that these are just value extractors. But at the end of
right.
the day, those farmers, those grinders are spending time in your game. And if we talk about the players that are spending money, they won't be spending time in your game. You
Mm,
want to
mm.
have both. You want to have players spending money in the game, because at the end of the day it's a business, but you also want players to spend time in the game, because time is also a currency. And
Right.
it's all about optimization. So when someone is a grinder, when someone is a farmer, you can actually turn them into a paid customer in the long run. Like, when they
Mm,
earn from
mm.
the game and then they spend, and you have to make sure that you are able to create those selling points where they feel that this purchase will improve their experience, this purchase will improve their earnings, this purchase will improve their overall flow when it comes to the game itself. So
Mhm.
the player personas we have been targeting for a very long period of time. And right now we have reached a point where a lot of players are just waiting for the marketplaces to go live, and there are two reasons for that. So 50% of those players are just interested in buying out new monsters, while the other 50% is interested in grinding and selling out those monsters so they can earn from the game.
Right,
Because
right.
it's an open market that we want to create. And overall, that is something that a lot of games should target. Primarily that when we talk about web3 games, as soon as you add a token, as soon as you add NFTs, it's not just for fun. It
Mhm,
is
mhm.
for money, it is for fun, it is for a lot of things. And you have added a lot of complexity when you accepted that you wanted to build a web3 game. So you just have to go with it, and kind of grow on it and improve your games experience, games economy, because it provides a lot of opportunities towards game building out a good economy, building out new experiences. And that's what web3 is all about.
Right. And just to piggyback a little bit more, because I want to hone in on this grinder slash farmer type of persona, right? And I don't know if you've seen it, Ghost. I'm sure you have with Kaito AI. It's like probably one of the newest like platforms where people or projects can partner up with Kaito, and in exchange, people create UGC. They create, um, you know, and what I find really cool about it is the Kaito system actually analyzes and reads the context of the content itself, right? So it's not just blatant GMs or dumb shills, et cetera, et cetera. It's actually content that's actually insightful, valuable, and it's related to crypto. Um, do you think attracting grinders for that type of platform makes sense? And do you see something like that happening for games, for Web3 games?
So Kaito is a very interesting platform. We did have a chat with their team, and they have been building out multiple leaderboards and also providing that data to existing projects, because that data can be very important. For example, I'll just kind of pitch away from the question a bit, and then I'll come back to it.
Mhm,
But how Kaito is differentiating between creators that are actually creating good tweets rather than comparing to creators or just users that are just tweeting random stuff just to
mhm,
get points, because that happens a lot. That we have seen with our system as well. Like, this is a problem with our system, where a lot of content creators, they just add the hashtag, and they just assume that they'll get points.
mhm,
Why,
mhm.
since it is a manual form of process, a lot of that can be filtered out. But when we
Right.
talk about, the masses, so till now there have been almost like 15-20,000 tweets about Spellborne using that create hashtag.
Mhm.
And you know out of that we have filtered out like 6,000, 7,000. That's it. So like the rest were rejected. When it comes to Kaito, they have kind of automated this system. So when someone is creating a good tweet, the system automatically knows that it is a good tweet based on the context, based on how much how the response is to that tweet, like the number of likes, the kind of replies it is getting. So it depends upon a lot of factors, and it is a very interesting platform that can be useful for a lot of games. And for us, for example, when we talk about creators that are actually creating value, creating tweets that are important, those creators can also lead communities. Like if
Mm, mm.
someone is creating something of value, they will have followers, and those followers can just create, be a part of a guild inside Spellborn.
Right.
So for our future targets, our goal is to bring creators that can have their own guilds, and we will be onboarding creators that have even smaller communities, like a community of 20, 30 members. It
Yeah.
is more than enough,
Yeah,
because those
yeah.
20, 30 players can onboard so many more players. It just is a ripple effect from there. But the overall goal and the value that the platform such as Kaito provides, it's extremely good. Like this
Mhm.
is kind of a platform that we have needed for a while, and it has been an improvement upon the previous versions of SocialFi. Like when we talk about previous versions of SocialFi in the past bull cycles, there were
Right.
some certain social networks that were launched in 2019, some in 2021, and most of them failed.
Mhm,
Kaito
mhm,
isn't a social network, but it is still a social graph. It is basically the back end of what a social network would be, because this is
mm,
exactly what you have in social network. Like I previously worked in building out a social network with a startup,
mhm,
and for creating friendships, generating friendships within the website, within the platform, you use social graphs, and Kaito is
mhm.
basically exactly that. They have social graphs based on what creators are creating value and what creators are related to those creators. And that's why you have the things such as smart followers and so on. So it
Right,
is a very good
right.
platform. And I would say, when we talk about farmers, when we talk about grinders, a lot of them get filtered out in this kind of platform.
Right,
Like
right, right.
because it is data based, first and foremost. The second factor would be because it is very selective. Like for a lot of creators, you might have seen that they've been creating so many tweets about Kaito, and they get like one yap or two yap, that's it. So it
Mhm,
is
mhm,
very
mhm.
selective,
Yeah.
but it is selective in a way where it knows that what is good value, what is not good value.
Mhm,
And for
mhm.
games, this can be very beneficial. Like if some game can implement this kind of social fi campaign, they will do tremendously well
Right,
in the web3 landscape. Especially in web 2, they can possibly mix this with Twitch rewards, and it will be an absolute perfect creators campaign for both web 2 and web 3.
right. Man, Kaito, it's like I feel like this has just been since the year has happened. It's really exploded, and someone I think it was Raiden who made this post because Raiden, he has such a huge platform. He's also a really big creator, but then I remember him posting the other day that he only has like 50 yaps or something like that, and someone made the comment how why isn't there a category for Web3 gaming? And it was just kind of like a dang moment, where it's like I thought or at least majority of crypto kind of acknowledge Web3 gaming or just gaming in general as a solidified sector of crypto, So and maybe this can follow up with you, right? Is do you how are you planning to position Spellborn this year to really onboard not just more players into this space, but really proliferate like the narrative of Web3 gaming is truly going to be successful one day, right? What's your plans for that?
So when we talk about narratives, you know, it is important to note that just saying that Web3 gaming will be successful, just pushing out that message is not enough.
Mhm,
uh, Primarily because when we talk about how big Web3 gaming is compared to the whole crypto landscape, it's minimal. Like
mhm,
it's less than 1%. So it's not big enough. On Twitter, it is kind of like 20-30%, but in terms of value, it is less than 1%.
mhm,
Less
mhm.
than 1% of the cryptocurrency market is invested in gaming. So we might say that it is a huge sector, but it is not yet. And the primary reason for that is because there is no mode of speculation, there is no mode of connection that has been built out by these games with web 2 users or web 3 users that are not already involved in web 3 gaming.
Mhm, mhm.
So it's like its own echo chamber till now. And when we talk about games that have been able to pass through that echo chamber, one of them is Off the Grid. Like they did very very well with web 2,
Right.
but they did not do that much well with web 3. Like they haven't really been on the radar of web 3 influencers or web 3
Mhm,
people who have a good amount of money to invest, primarily because there's nothing to invest right now.
mhm.
So if we talk about how we want to position Spellborne in this landscape, the first thing is bringing users from other FIs or from other groups.
Mhm.
So for example, like, you can't really when and this is something that I've been saying for years. Like there's a small group of players that is present in web3 gaming, and that's it, and all these games are fighting for their attention. So if
Right,
you
right.
want to succeed, you want to fight for the attention of the whole cryptocurrency landscape. You want to fight for the attention for the whole gaming community in web 2 as well. And for Spellborn, it is important that we do both. So that's how we are doing both is for web 2 we will be doubling down on creators. So our Twitch rewards should be going live this week or next week,
Oh, nice.
and creators can just start streaming out the game. Viewers get rewards for watching those creators, and whenever and even gifting out to those creators. So if you gift out a sub to any Twitch creator, you get a Stellar Pass subscription for a month inside our game, and we will take the loss. We are fine
Yeah.
with taking the loss, and as we want to support our creators. So even if you gift a $5 sub to someone on Twitch that is streaming Spellborn, we
Mhm.
will give you a subscription worth $15, and we
Mm.
are taking the loss on that.
Mhm, mhm.
So that's the first thing, is that we want to support creators on the web 2 side. And we also have a full guide coming for creators. Like we will be starting a weekly newsletter where we guide our grassroots creators
Mhm.
on how to create content around our game, because there is a specific audience you want to target when it comes to Spellbound, and those users love to watch streams. When
True.
we talk about streamers that have been streaming games such as PokeMMO or PokeRogue, those streams go viral. Like for PokeRogue, every big streamer was streaming it when it initially started. For PokeMMO, it has been live for almost 10-15 years, and there have been creators that have built out communities worth of 20-30,000 subscribers on YouTube. So you can build out a community when it comes to Spellborn, just being a creator who is creating content around playing this game.
Mhm.
And the best thing about it is that it is not just limited to the type of content that these web 2 games have. So for example, when it comes to PokeMMO, you're just limited to that specific kind of content. For Spellbound, you're not, because we are experimenting so much. Like
Mhm.
there's always something new every single week, so you have something to cover. And creators can even create like weekly content cycles where they push out 10-minute videos covering out the update for the past week. And that is the basic of things. Like there's so much more possible with our on-chain tournaments going live and so on. And here, when I mention on-chain, that's where I transition to the second group that we're targeting, which
Right.
is the web 3 speculators. And this is not the GameFi community. This is
Right.
the memefi community. This is the community that invests in Bitcoin, in Ethereum, and this is the community that invests in pump fund. So that pump fund is basically where Web 2 and Web 3 both converge because of memes.
Mm,
And
mhm.
Spellborne has an IP that can be easily memeified. So that's where multiple branches of the tree, like, they connect, creating a factor where we will be able to bring in speculators who are interested in speculating on guild tokens, who are interested in speculation of the growth of those communities within the game itself, as well as just people who want to bet on memes, or just speculate on memes. Because when you create a guild inside Spellborn, it doesn't really need to be attached to be a specific game element. It can just be a simple meme. Like, you could
Right,
create a
right.
community that is around an animal or anything like that. But the best part is that you are able to also provide utility and generate value based on that. So, for example, if you look at Moodang or any other animal that has been popular in the past,
Mhm.
uh, someone could have created a guild token that is around Moodang and created a guild around Moodang. And then they could also create a skin that they can sell within the game. So now, not only do they have a NFT collection, they have a token collection,
Right,
and that
right.
token is generating value from that NFT collection, but also from the value of the growth of the community, because it is a pump fund style token.
Right.
So it mixes the best of things. And for our team now, it's our goal to make that user experience easier, because a lot of when we look at merging these different communities, most of them do not have the, I would say, patience to play a game.
Mhm,
They do
mhm.
have the patience to speculate. So we want to improve our platform, and we want to even provide access to our guild system outside the game, where you can just look at all the guild tokens and you can just buy them directly. So it will be kind of a separate website. And that's how we plan to actually attract speculators, actually attract players, is by building out a good game first of all, where players can have fun, where they can play the game on mobile. So for example, the mobile builds will go live today for holders.
Mhm, mhm.
The Android build is ready. iOS, we're just waiting for approval, should be in a few hours. uh,
Ooh.
but in theory, all of this merges together with all the things that we've been doing till now. So first thing was, we were focusing on building out the IP, you know prominently focusing on Woodot, prominently focusing on Skitten, prominently focusing on Pandoro, and making these three monsters the limelight of Spellborn, because they are memeable. We have been creating content around those. Second thing was to focus on building out a creator community. Over 300 creators have signed up for our creators program, because they know that we treat creators good when we fully onboard them.
Mhm,
And that's our goal, is that we want to provide value to our creators, and we want to help them grow. So any creator can build out their guild, can build out their community, can build out content around Spellborn. We will guide them.
mhm.
We will provide them value. So they have a creator code. They get 5% from all the purchases made using their code. They also get store points. So not only are they getting value from that purchase, they're also getting an airdrop. And those creators then get access to our community, get access to our socials, get access to our mailing list. uh, our mailing list, which has over, I think, 190,000 emails at this point.
Mm, mhm.
And then we talk about the speculators, which will come with the guild system, which mixes the best of pump fun, of DAOs, of all the Web3 elements mixed together, plus the risk mechanics that come with custom tournaments, the PvP leagues that will go live with 14 days of length. So in future, once the token has gone live, and once we know that the PvP leagues are stable, right now they're not, like, we have a lot of bugs in the PvP system. But
Right, right.
once it is stable, every 14 weeks, players can participate in a league, and every 14 weeks there will be token distributions. So to the winners, to the top ranked players. So anyone who, when you look at speculators in terms of Web3 GameFi side of things, they don't like to participate in long campaigns. So we are solving that. We are solving
Mhm.
the issues for creators by providing them value, by adding Twitch rewards, by adding lots of rewards for the community to actually be a part of their community. And we are building out a game that is fun to play, that is very very much expansive, that gets regular updates, and we are focusing on bringing in the speculator side of things. So now when all of these things merge, there will be an open economy where these players, they are playing to get the best monsters, sell those to speculators, who then are kind of hoarding them or selling them to collectors, and sort of creating an open economy where all these players are able to interact in a manner that is improving the overall game economy. So it is not about kicking out the farmers. It is not about focusing on players that are only spending. It is about creating a ecosystem where all these users can interact in a manner where the game grows, they grow, and everyone gets a certain type of value. It can be monetary, it can be just a good experience, or having friends inside the game. And that is our main goal with Spellborne itself.
Yeah, I love this, man. So much detail and depth with your responses to go see. I always appreciate it. First of all, we just hit the 30-minute mark, right? Doing quick little stream reset. But what one of my favorite things I love about our streams is from minute one till the very end, you start to see everyone starting to flock here, and your beats out. So shout out to everyone here that I see here in front of the chat, and I do see the same usernames here in the comment section of today's stream. So shout out to everyone that is showing up. Don't forget, guys, repost. Let's get more eyes here on today's Spellborn stream, and I'm absolutely loving it again. And Ghost, I want to keep honing in on the UGC side of things. And what I'm very curious about, and what I want to ask for, at least for this year of Spellborn, is there going to be any expansion on the lore slash world building side of things, right? And before you provide an answer, the reason why I ask is I remember there were three characters in Spellborn, and I feel the easiest way for creators to want to create content around something is when they have an emotional attachment to these characters, right? And they almost can kind of create their own persona in the Spellborn world, right? And then they kind of use this as like their avatar, their mascot in their content, right? Will there be any push or strategies around this type of narrative?
So that will happen in the later part of this year. In the
Mm,
first part of this year, our focus is to just finish up all the basics of the game. So have our
mhm.
on-chain tournaments live, have our staking live, have all the marketplaces live, all the basic features that are required for the game economy to flourish and thrive. So all those features live with the guild tokens as well. And once that has been done, then we want to focus on content, then we focus on the load building, then we focus on the actual uh, connection that the players have with the game itself. Because right
Right.
now a lot of players, there is a lot of individuality in the game. As you can see, there are so many skins.
Mhm.
Are some common skins that you see that are based around guilds, like the fire heads, all of that is the Brazilian guild, for example. So it is an important thing for us that we build out a connection between creators, but also the players and the game itself, and the storyline itself. So we do have content planned for at least 18 months. We do have at least 4 locations that have already been in development or in design for at least 2 to 3 months minimum for each of them.
Mhm.
And we are working on that content side by side, but currently our focus is on just finishing up the mechanics and basically make sure that the game is in a state of infinite content where someone can
Yeah.
just grind it, if they're not just focusing on the storyline. But I would say a huge portion of our community loves the game story, and they're just there for the quests. Like a lot of them, they just keep asking for more quests, more locations, more npcs, more, just they would just want to learn what happens next, because right now it is in a state where we added a lot of locations for the players to explore, and we're just trying to, kind of, I would say honestly back play and kind of catch up with all the demands that players have at this
Right.
point.
Right.
Because if you look at the scope of the game, it is an indie game, but it still has so many things, and it has so many features that you kind of get in behind all the demands, all the expectations that players have. Because when you look at players who have been playing the game, they have mostly played games that were already finished in Web 2.
Right.
And
Right.
for us, we're still very early in terms of development. Like, when we compare to our other counterparts in Web 3, most of them have been in development for 4 or 5 years. For us, it has been almost, I would say, 2.5 to 3 years for us.
Wow.
And the first portion of that, like the first year of that, we were just working on the game engine. We weren't even working on the game.
Right.
So in reality, for the game itself, and the storyline itself, it hasn't been that long that we've been developing it. And we have a lot of content planned, we have a lot of things planned, and that's what our focus is. For the first part of this year, finish up all the features. Once that is done, then we can focus on the content, then we focus on the lore building, the narrative. Because at the same time, Guardians of Celestia will also be live, which
Wow.
helps us
Wow.
set up the background of the storyline. Guardians of
Right.
Celestia is set around like 2000 years before the story of Spellborne. So players will be able to connect the monsters, connect the characters, connect the lore, connect the events, and that's how we want to build out the game's lore, build out the game's storyline, and so on.
This, and again, the second title that you're coming out with, do you also see this as a way to expand the Spellborn IP, right? Do you want the attention to funnel back into Spellborne, or do you want them to kind of just be two separate entities that grow on its own?
Both at the same time. So Guardians of
Mm-mm.
Celestia and Spellborne are in the same IP,
Got
but
you.
they're also separate games.
Right,
So,
right, right.
if someone is playing Spellborne, they might or might not be interested in Guardians of Celestia. If they're playing Guardians of Celestia, they might or might not be interested in Spellborne, because the genres are different.
Mm-hmm,
One
mm-hmm.
is a mid-core game where you can grind for hours. One is a casual game which you play on your mobile, and you can have max sessions of 25 to 30 minutes, and
Right,
then you run out of energy. So the games are built for different audiences, but the goal is to connect those game worlds, so that if the audiences overlap, they can switch from one game to another. So if someone is
mm-hmm.
playing Guardians of Celestia and they are open to playing mid-core games, Spellborne will be the perfect fit for them. And
Right.
that is a goal that we have with building out these two games, and as well as to test out our content pipeline. Because with Guardians of Celestia, we will be able to ship out monsters really really fast, compared to how fast we are able to ship them out with Spellborne. Because we have to create less assets, we have to create less code, and allow us to basically test out monsters. And since Guardians of Celestia is set around 2000 years before Spellbound, we can just say, if a monster isn't popular enough with the community to be added to Spellbound, we can just say that that breed just went away. It has been 2000 years. What do you expect?
Mm-hmm,
So all
mm-hmm.
these things have been planned in advance, and that's how we are planning to build out things. Like, these are two separate games, but they have overlapping audiences to an extent. And the IP itself will and is expected to grow with both of these games.
Man, and when will we start seeing the first glimpse of gameplay around that?
So Guardians of Celestia, I would say, would be mid of this year. Our focus hasn't been that much on working that out yet. Like, we
Right,
finished out
right.
the artwork for the initial release. We have finished out like 30 monster designs till now.
Wow.
But in terms of development, it has been kind of slower on that front.
Mm,
We
mm.
are still talking to different chains on where we want to launch Guardians of Celestia. Because we are a cross chain company, so we work with multiple chains. Like for Spellborne, it's Avalanche,
Mhm.
but for Guardians of Celestia it will be another chain, and our token is omni chain, so it will be used in Guardians of Celestia, it will be used in Spellborne or any other future titles that we release.
Right, right. What are your thoughts, Ghosty, on abstract right now? I've been seeing a lot of games just pop up like On Chain Heroes, Play Gigaverse. Um, just your general thoughts, right? What do you think about abstract gaming?
So abstract, if we talk about the game specifically, I have talked to some of their developers, and even like for on-chain heroes, I did talk
Mhm.
to their contract developer, and it is like some of those games are very very interesting. Like for example, on-chain heroes, it's very very similar to what Wolf Dot game was, but kind of a better version, or kind of a 2D version that is
Mhm.
sideway mixed with Maple Story. So the projects on abstract are interesting, and I do believe that the kind of marketing pipeline that Pudgy Penguins already has, Luca and team would be able to use that to kind of build out a great community around abstract.
Right, right,
But of course, that is that will come with time. But yeah, I am excited for their launch, and overall I would expect them to succeed, because if they are able to succeed and bring in trust and bring in users into the GameFi space, into the overall gaming space in Web3, it would be a win-win for us, because right now a lot of like a huge portion of these games are just fighting for the same players and same
right,
same attention span. And when we talk about Web3 players, they are already low on attention.
right, right. And this is where I think a lot of games kind of suffer as far as like abstract. Like right now it's just so much hype, but again, like I just don't want this to be another like token narrative where people are just speculating on something, and then by the time that's out of the picture, like there's no longer sustainable interest per se. But again, I don't want to doubt the on-chain team, nor Play Gigaverse. Even Monsters Out of Fun, I think out of all the Monsters Out of Fun is like probably the one that I'm keeping an eye on the most. But um do you have plans, and maybe you don't got to spill the entire alpha, but will you potentially look at abstract as like an extension to Spellborn per se?
So Spellborn is a cross-chain game.
Mm.
I can't really share more than that.
I like that. I like that answer. Awesome, awesome. And yeah, I mean, goes to just for I guess the last like 15-ish or so minutes here on today's stream. I would love, to just allocate some time on just talking some updates for the game. Anything you just specifically want to highlight, get the audience, people here in the community to be familiar with, especially here in Q1. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So first of all, the mobile release for apartment and monster holders should go live within the next 24 hours. I'm not sure
Mm,
about the timelines with Apple. Like they take time. But the Android build is already live. It probably is also searchable already on the Play Store. Like you could search it and download the game,
wow.
as it is open in public testing. But you can download it, but in order to log in, you still need to hold an apartment or a monster.
Mm, mm-hmm,
And this is for our monster and apartment holders. Please, as soon as the announcements go live, please download the games, test out the apps, test out all the bugs and bugs here and there. Give out a list of things that you want us to improve, so I can assign those to developers and get this out of the way, and then just ship it out to public, because we have so many things that have been just waiting for these announcements,
mm-hmm,
and so many more features that have been waiting on these things. But as soon as this goes live, please download the apps on iOS and Android and test it out for us. Give us feedback on what to improve, what is good, what doesn't look good, and we will work on it, and then work towards shipping out to public release. Because as soon as the iOS builds and the Android builds are pushed to public, we'll also ship out the Epic Games Store release at the same time. So this is about expanding the games availability, expanding the games shipping platforms.
mm-hmm.
Secondly, The next part is around staking. So apartment staking should go live very very soon. We did test out the token staking part, so whenever TG happens, that will obviously go live. But for the apartment staking part, you will be able to stake your apartment soon. You probably already saw some of these items in the aftermarket, so I'll just move there. Sorry guys. And
You guys can follow
uh,
Ghosty.
but you should be able to already see some of these items that are available for glory points.
Whoa, whoa.
So for example, you will be able to see the innate potential for 15 minutes for some of these wild monsters. And these glory points you get by staking the token, you get by staking the apartments, and the prices will vary based on demand. So the
Mm-hmm.
prices can increase or decrease. And it's basically free money. Like you're getting rare items in the game for just holding the token, for just holding the apartments,
Right,
and you
right,
can then trade those on the aftermarket at a later stage. So
right.
staking is going very very soon. We are preparing for the token launch as well to happen in the first quarter. With the marketplaces currently being tested internally, we will be shipping out them to heroes later this month, towards the end of this month. And so staking is done, marketplaces are done. In terms of mechanics, so mining and fishing, we did share a sneak peek of the mining skill and profession, I think earlier this week. So mining and fishing should also go live very very soon. The other skills have already gone live,
Mhm.
but for mining and fishing, those are currently being developed and tested at the same time. And I think Heroes already did test out the mini game for mining. For fishing, it should be soon. But these two things will also expand the game economy and almost finish up our target, for what the Spellborne game economy should look like. So,
Right,
the RPG elements mixed with the monster elements, and the level cap increases. So the level caps will also increase towards the end of this month. So more levels to grind, more monster mutations, more better attacks, heavier attacks, and faster battles in theory. And yeah, that's I think these are the most of the things that are in the short term.
yeah,
And in this is until the token release. So
right,
staking, marketplaces, uh, the mining, fishing skills, certain improvements for some in-game components, as well as the mobile build release for public, Epic Game Store release. And this is until TG. After
right,
TG, we have guild tokens, we have on-chain tournaments, we have adventures, which should be towards the next quarter, and also sneak peeks towards Guardians of Celestia. So we have a lot of things coming after token release, but before token release, I would say these are the things to focus on. If someone hasn't participated in PvP yet, please
mhm,
start doing so, because when once PvP reaches a stage where it is stable, uh, we will start adding token rewards directly to it. So every
mhm,
14 days you'll start receiving tokens, and you don't want to be left out for that. Like at this stage, there are a lot of players that are very very advanced in terms of how they play PvP, and they're very very good at it. So you would want to start preparing as soon as possible, or just wait for open markets and buy good monsters. But it's up to you on how you want to prepare for open markets, for the PvP leagues, because that would be the best way to earn from the game, is based on skill. This is a skill
right,
based earning game, and you can grind as much as you want. You can grind for luck, as the skill system provides a specific booster, or I would say power up, called prestige. And prestige is basically when you reach 100%, 100 level 100 on each skill, you can exchange for a higher prestige, which means higher
Ooh.
chance of encountering rare monsters, rare variants, and rare variants will appear more often as we are also adding monster cosmetics. We're adding more enchanted monsters very very soon. There is already one live at this point, and overall, that's what to look forward to, like more content, more features, more on-chain mechanics, more risk to earn,
Yeah, yeah.
more community mechanics in terms of guilds v2 going live, so lots of things to look forward to.
Woo, I like that prestige. I really want to hone in on that on another stream one day, but that sounds really, really fascinating. Um, Ghosty man, again, appreciate the past hour here with you as always, and shout out to everyone here that pulled up to the chat. And I like what Santos said. He said Ghosty has the ability to make me more bullish each stream. I agree, man. I agree. um, Ghosty, as we look to wrap up here, is there anything that you didn't get to mention? It could be some announcements, and I know you already just did it, but any last minute thoughts you just want to share with the audience today?
I would say if there are any creators that are interested in focusing on Spellborne, you can start creating content now. You can reach out to us, if you want any guidance. And if you haven't signed up for our verified creators program, please do, because that is the best way to shine in front of the community. You can
Mm,
create content, you can generate revenue based on how many players you are kind of referring to the game, how many purchases you are referring to the game. And the best creators, the most popular creators, get in-game skin integration, so you get a in-game skin if you are a popular creator, if you have a community. And it could be just a community of 50 100 members, but if it is a community that is focused on Spellborne, solely Spellborne, then we would love to, give you a in-game skin and have you focus on Spellborne, create content on Twitch, on YouTube, on TikTok, and basically bring the game in front of the web device and
mm,
focus on the game economy, as well as focus on the game's features, the game art. So this was for the creators. Any creators that are interested in building out their gaming communities, also let us know. You can build out a guild, and from there, as I mentioned before, guilds are basically the tools you need to grow when it comes to the Spellborn community or the overall gaming landscape, because you are able to launch a token, you are able to launch a PFP collection as well if you want, as those PFPs can be integrated as a skin inside a game. And for the players, focus on PvP, focus on improving your monsters, because open markets will go live with TGE. P2P trading will go live in testing this week. So you will
mm.
be able to trade items with other players. But for monsters, you'll have to wait until TGE. And in terms of bug fixes for a few things, so I do know that there are a few bugs that are pending for guilds as well as apartment renting. Those are at the moment lower priority as we're focusing on completing out things for TGE. But those will also get picked up very very soon, as well as more features for guilds in terms of guardian battles. And I almost forgot this. So there is another feature called hordes that is also coming to the game very very soon, which
Ooh.
means there is a chance for you to encounter 3 to 5 different monsters at the same time. Like you encounter one monster in the wild, but what if you encounter 5 pandoros at the same time and they
Mm,
attack at the
mm.
same time as well?
Ooh.
So more difficulty to the game is coming. This also means more levels for the Tower of Eternity, where you will be able to fight and battle multiple monsters at the same time, monsters of much much higher levels. So players who are looking for a challenge, this is for you. uh, Anything else that I might have forgotten? There are a few things that I don't want to mention yet, that
Mm,
are still in development.
mm.
uh, But in terms of game mechanics, I think I've covered most of the things that are being prepared for the players. And overall, if you are participating in these current eras, there are no token rewards at the moment, but we will be conducting custom tournaments for you, for the top players at a later stage from each of these eras. So make sure to at least get in the top leagues if you're not just regularly playing. Just slide in there, and that's it. Stay there for as long as possible. That should be our goal. So yeah, I think I have
Ooh,
covered
oh my
most of the
goodness.
things related to the token, related to marketplaces, related to the game, related to marketing. Twitch rewards are coming for creators who have signed up for our creators program. As soon as the Twitch rewards go live, you will start receiving your approval emails. So you will get your creator codes as well very, very soon.
Oh my gosh, guys, this is alpha on top of alpha. There's always things to look forward to when it comes to Spellborn. Ghosty, thanks again as always for the past hour, and once again, shout out to everyone here that showed up in the stream today. Don't forget, guys, many more just like this. And seriously, guys, I hope you're taking notes because there's so much said in every single one of these streams with Ghosty. So, as always, thank you guys. And if you missed out, don't worry. There's going to be plenty more in the near future. If you haven't already, shoot Spellborn a follow, shoot Ghosty a follow. Probably the best way to stay updated is also by joining the Discord. But yeah, with that being said, guys, thank you so much for attending today's stream. This will be the conclusion. I wish everyone here a fantastic rest of their day, and we will see you guys at the next one. Have an awesome one, guys. Cheers and peace out.